Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our televised November Board of Education meeting here in Wallingford. And I'm going to ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, and we're all back to hopefully a decent routine with no tryptophan in our lives. We're over with that. Linda, could we do a roll call, please?
Yes. Mr. Bruder?
Here.
Mrs. Costelli?
Here.
Mr. Shea?
Here.
Ms. Dorr? Mrs. Glidden? Ms. Levesque?
Here.
Mrs. McKay?
Here.
Mr. Reynolds?
Here.
Mr. Votto?
Here.
7 members present and voting.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Next on our agenda are our student board reps. We'll start with Lyman Hall. Samuel? No? Oh, prior engagement. Okay. Well, we missed. Tell him we missed him. Martishi and Rajan. Welcome, Rajan. How you doing tonight? Good. Glad to hear it.
In November, we had our canned food drive running from November 3rd through the 22nd, and we had nearly 2,000 cans donated. Our fall drama production, The 39 Steps, ran on November 3rd and 4th. On November 4th, we had the SAT exam, and many students participated. November 10th was leaf raking for elderly community members, led by the Student Council, support from many school clubs and students. November 14th, many new members were inducted to our chapter of the National Honor Society. On November 18th, we had the Class M quarterfinals for our football team. November 22nd was our pep rally after our Spirit Week in preparation for the Carini Bowl and the Samaha Bowl. All state tournaments started and all senior nights took place in November, and winter sports are now starting next week. Going on into December, we have our Toys for Tots drive from December 1st through the 12th, our Fall Sports Awards on the 5th at 7 p.m., and the board is invited. Also on December 5th is Captain's Council for our winter sports captains. December 6th is our Instant Decision Day for 4 universities. December 7th through the 13th are sophomore career lessons. December 14th is evening conferences. And on December 19th is our winter concert. In athletics, all fall sports are complete except for football. Football made the state tournament for the 3rd time in school history and the 1st since 1995. Next month, I will present with an update on the December activities, as well as information regarding the January activities. Thank you for your time.
Rajan, before you run away, can you just give me the date again for your Fall Sports Award?
Our Fall Sports Awards are on the 5th at 7 p.m.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm
Yep,
sorry.
please.
If I could also interject. Rajan, in terms of the new immediate decision, or what is that called? Instant decision?
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit about that?
Absolutely. We have 4 universities participating. Students who applied to these universities early have the opportunity to meet with their admissions counselors for 20 minutes for a brief interview where they learn whether or not they were admitted, and they could ask your admissions counselors any questions regarding their admissions decision. Does that answer your question?
It does. That's why I asked you to answer it, because I knew you would have it better than I would. Just so you know, this is the first year that we're doing this at both Lyman Hall and Sheehan High School, so both schools will be doing this. We also have made certain that because not everybody may get the decision that they want that day, they might say that it's deferred. We have communicated to counseling, the counseling staff to be aware of that, so that if students want to talk after and process what might have gone well, what might have not gone so well, they could process that with their counselor at that time.
Do we know what 4 schools will be represented?
I could get you the exact list
That's
tomorrow
fine.
morning. Central, Quinnipiac, and Southern, and then the other one slips my mind at the moment.
That's fine. Thanks, Rajan.
Thank you.
Any questions from the board? Great. Well, I'm very excited to do our presentations and awards tonight. So, Dr. Menzo, do you want to?
Yes, Ms. Fayou's going to cue up a little bit of a video which will help us better understand the first presentation.
Perfect. Thank you. It's all good.
I am terrible. I rely heavily on my GPS to get me wherever I need to go. I can't look at a path on a map and just follow it. I need turn-by-turn directions in the moment. Eventually, after I've driven a commute enough times, I begin to notice landmarks. Once this happens, I can see the course with ease because I know to follow the bend in the road when I see the crooked tree at the top of the mountain, take the bridge ahead when I pass the billboard with flashing lights, or turn left at the cows grazing in the pasture. While these visual cues were always there, I wasn't able to connect their dots to my destination until after I had arrived. However, once these landmarks became evident, it was like someone had written special directions just for me. The path I was supposed to take became so clear in hindsight. This doesn't just apply to driving, though. Everyone has days in their lives which become landmarks. Days of milestone events, celebrations, or life-changing news become part of our personal navigation system. I always thought I was on the road to becoming an artist. After all, I decided that with conviction as a preschooler. However, events in my life, which didn't seem connected to my career choice, became landmarks. Points of change, which I can now clearly connect to my destination as a Connecticut educator. My father is a retired FDNY fire chief. My whole life, I watched him pack his bag, get in the car, and drive off to work, without ever worrying about the dangers he would face. I knew my dad was a hero. I knew he saved lives. But I never thought about how he risked his own life to help others. It wasn't until his involvement as a first responder and chief of operations during the rescue and recovery at Ground Zero that I realized his job wasn't like the jobs of my friends' fathers. On September 10th, 2001, I was a college freshman whose biggest worry was doing my own laundry for the first time. I was devastated when I lost one of my favorite socks that night in the dorm laundry room. I remember clutching the remaining sock while I called my mother to inform her of how hard and time-consuming it was to do laundry. That was the last night I spent in the bubble my parents had crafted for me. The next day, missing socks didn't seem so important, as this time I knew what my father would encounter after he packed his bag, got in the car, and drove off to work. A lone sock became a landmark, a symbol of my protected childhood, which had now ended. This landmark changed my course. But I didn't realize it until I was about to enter my senior year. Suddenly, the path I was on, headed toward a graphic design career in New York City, was no longer what I desired. However, I couldn't reroute myself because I didn't even know where I was supposed to be headed anymore. I needed to pull over. My mother, an educator, stepped in as my co-pilot and steered me toward a career in education. The day I spent at school with her, observing teachers and working with children, became the next landmark in my life. After graduation, I entered graduate school to pursue a career in education. Now in my 11th year of teaching, I am grateful, humbled, and awestruck that the landmarks in my life have brought me here tonight. This night is important because it's about honoring educators from across the state. While each of the Teachers of the Year here tonight have been distinguished for the work they do, they also each represent hundreds of talented and devoted teachers from their home districts who are also worthy of recognition. Many people have probably read the saying, "Teaching is a work of heart," on a coffee cup or keychain. But to teachers, it's the truth. Despite the challenges we face every day, we uphold our noble profession because we know at the end of the day, it isn't about policy, budgets, or regulations. It's about children. I think it is safe to say no teacher in this room tonight chose education because they wanted to one day win an award for the work they do. We chose to be teachers because we want to leave this world a better place than we found it. We do this by being there for our students when they need us, helping them recognize their potential, and guiding them to make good life decisions. I always knew my father was a hero. I didn't realize my mother was too, until we shared the title of educator. Teachers may not run into burning buildings, but we do save lives. We just don't always know it at the time. There is one more landmark in my life, which I would like to share with you this evening. For the past 5 years, I have attended the Vicky Soto Memorial Fund 5K to honor my friend, who was a first grade teacher at Sandy Hook Elementary School. Last year, when registering, the race asked a new question. Are you an educator? I checked the box yes and wondered why they asked about my profession. My question was answered the day of the race as I was thanked for my dedication to the children of Connecticut while being handed a sash with the word educator emblazoned in bright white against a green background. As we lined up at the starting gate, the announcer asked everyone to cheer for the educators in the crowd. While standing in the midst of 3,000 people, I looked around and saw fellow educators in green sashes who looked as confused as to what they should be doing as I was. None of us were used to this recognition. I fought my natural inclination to shrink and instead stood proudly as I saw myself as more than just a teacher for the first time. I saw myself as an educator worthy of being recognized. While I don't physically wear this sash to school every day, I do wear an imaginary version. I encourage all of you to do the same. Be proud of your profession. Hold yourself and your colleagues in high esteem. Support your school. Make it be a source of pride for your community. Most importantly, see yourself as a hero, because chances are your students already do. Connecticut is full of amazing educators. I am honored to represent all of us as the 2018 Connecticut State Teacher of the Year. Thank you to David Basso, Lauren Danner, and the entire Connecticut Teacher of the Year Council, the State Department of Education, including Commissioner Wenzel, Dr. Barzi, and Kim Wachelhausen, Wallingford Public Schools, my Superintendent, Dr. Menzo, Cook Hill School colleagues, my Principal, Christine Friend, past and present students and their families, and of course, my incredibly supportive husband, family, and friends. Tonight is a celebration of the work everyone in this room has done to support and promote excellence in education, work which will continue long after this night ends. Being recognized as Teachers of the Year is not the destination of our courses. It's another landmark, a moment we will look back on and connect to future achievements. I look forward to seeing how this landmark in our lives, this recognition which brought us all together tonight, will help us collectively raise the bar higher for education in Connecticut. Thank you.
So, without further ado, Miss Erin Berthold, Wallingford Public Schools, and the State of Connecticut's Teacher of the Year. Please come up, Erin. As many of you know, Erin is the first ever Wallingford Public School teacher to be State Teacher of the Year. So it is my pleasure as superintendent, and they cut my part because it was too long. But no, I had the pleasure of introducing Erin at the Bushnell, and I just was so inspired by what she does, having seen what she does in her classroom, by seeing what she has done with former students. It was so easy. It was probably the easiest task ever to introduce someone of this caliber, who represents so many great teachers in Connecticut and especially in Wallingford. But thank you so very, very much for everything you do and will continue to do for your students and staff. And thank you for representing our district so well and the state as you now move on to the national competition. So I know there are several people here tonight who'd like to come up, and I'm going to start with Mr. Lou Fiello, if you don't mind coming up, our union president, who I know wanted to share his congratulations.
Thank you. On behalf of the teachers of Wallingford, I wanted to present you with these roses and a special gift for you to maybe use in your classroom. And I wanted to do a couple things to congratulate you on this great achievement, and also to thank you for being an inspiration to all the teachers in Wallingford, and now all of the teachers in the state, and hopefully the teachers nationally will be inspired by your words. And so I thank you. Congratulations.
This is also for you too. I will now invite up Senator Len Fasano.
Congratulations, and I don't have any flowers. I feel kind of bad, but first of all, I want to say congratulations. You know, teachers, they do it from their heart and their soul, and your speech was from your heart and your soul. And we ask so much of our teachers. They have to be nutritionists, moms, dads, mentors, counselors, parents, and then in between all that, teach a couple courses and get some curriculum in. And teachers do a fabulous, fabulous job. And you're right, you don't know what lives you have shaped, and especially when they're young, the impression that you put on children will last for a long, long time. So on behalf of the state of Connecticut, I could not be here, could not be there, I should say, when you got the first award because of the budget, but I wanted to make sure I attended today to thank you for all that you do for Wallingford and for the state of Connecticut, and wish you tremendous success as you go forward. Congratulations.
And from our town council, our chairman, Vincent Cervoni.
Thank you, Dr. Menzo. So, I've seen you speak twice, once in video, and the first time was at the convocation at the beginning of the school year. And aside from the fact that you've received these tremendous awards and acknowledgments, that's about all I know about you. What I've observed is a tremendous amount of energy, a good sense of humor, and an appropriateness, a pretty constant appropriateness to what you do. And I can't imagine that if you merely bring a fraction of that to the classroom every day, that you are shaping lives in a tremendous way. So thank you for all you do. Clearly you deserve the honor that you're getting. Thank you.
We invited other representatives, and unfortunately I know Ms. Mashinsky couldn't be here this evening. She's recuperating, so she sent her regards. I know Mr. Fishbein had given you a proclamation at the event, and I know, I believe it's Ms. Linehan also wanted to be here, but unfortunately couldn't. So we wanted to just let you know that there were so many people who think so highly of what you've been able to accomplish on behalf of the students in Wallingford and throughout the state. But I'm going to turn over to Ms. McKay for final comments.
Thanks so much. So thank you, Mr. Cervoni, because that was a great segue, because even though on the Board of Ed, we have deep respect and admiration for all our teachers, we don't necessarily know our teachers personally. And I got invited to be interviewed for the selection process representing the Board of Ed, and I really didn't know Erin, so I asked if I could barge in and attend a classroom, and I sat for a couple hours in your classroom. I had one student raise her hand immediately and you know what I'm going to say. She said, "I really like your voice." So, I mean, it was so humbling to be with first graders and to appreciate their sincerity, their honesty, they just put it all out there. And I observed Erin for those couple of hours, and I was blown away. I almost wished I had a first grader that could have been in your class, but I don't want a first grader anymore. But I truly was so overwhelmingly impressed by your poise, by how you run a classroom. These kids don't even know how they get moved around from section to section, and how they're learning and processing things. And this was in September. And these kids, when you think about it, 2 months ago were kindergartners. Some of them are still 5 years old, and she has such command of her classroom. It's so impressive. And she does it with such love and respect for her students. And it just was a phenomenal thing to watch. It really made me proud. And on behalf of the Board of Education, thank you for all that you do. We're so proud of you. I can't even imagine, I sent you in an email, I can't even imagine what your journey is going to be like for the next year. And we are so blessed in Wallingford to be recipients of that journey. And I urge you, on behalf of the Board of Ed, come back as you go on your travels, and if there's anything you want to share, you know the door's open. Come and talk to us and fill us in and keep us apprised to your adventures. And I know you're going to be representing Wallingford in a stunning fashion for the next year. So congratulations, Erin. We're really proud of you.
I'll just, also as a fellow educator, it's really an honor for you to do that, for you to get this. First grade teachers, I always felt needed to get paid a lot more than everybody else. Believe me, how you do it is just amazing. And I know there are so many new things that are going on today in that classroom, and to utilize them to the extent that you do, to be honored on the state level, is really something. So congratulations from me. It's fantastic to know that you're in our school system, and hopefully you're like a disease or an epidemic, and other people, it spreads to other people. Not that people are not doing that kind of stuff, but to be recognized the way you have been recognized. Thank you.
Sure. Any other comments? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, from a fellow educator, I had the pleasure of teaching high school, but I had the bigger pleasure of my oldest daughter up until recently as a first grade teacher. And when I thought I was going through a lot, no. I mean, at that stage, I mean, it's just, they're embarking on their trip, and it's so important that they get off to a good start. So again, congratulations, and we're so proud of you. Yeah.
Any?
Well, thank you everyone for all of your kind words. I appreciate it so much. It was kind of a surprise. I wasn't ever expecting this to happen to me, but I'm so grateful for it, and I'm looking forward to showing everyone in our nation the wonderful things that we do in Wallingford. So thank you.
Great.
And actually, it's very fitting that Erin, in her speech, spoke about heroes. Because I think tonight we have 3 more amongst us. And I would like to call them up. So if I could have Kendra, Sam, and Pat come on up. And Mr. Mordarski, would you come up too? We received notification earlier this fall that while on a field trip, these 3 students came upon a person that was in need, that was going into cardiac arrest, and they immediately jumped on the scene, did not worry about themselves, did not second guess it whatsoever. I know Mr. Mordarski and I have talked, and we're still in awe of you. And went into action and started to perform CPR on the person. We received a letter from the wife of the gentleman, and I just want to read a little bit of what she wrote. She said, "My husband Douglas Yale and I were recently in Connecticut visiting family and friends. We were both born and raised in Meriden and Wallingford, Yalesville area. On Friday, October 13th, my husband and I were visiting Castle Craig at Hubbard Park in Meriden. While there, her husband suddenly and unexpectedly went into cardiac arrest. Mr. Larry Mordarski was there on a physics class trip. Students Sam, Kendra, along with Mr. Mordarski, immediately went into action. They made Doug comfortable and began to perform CPR. They worked continuously, taking turns for what seemed like forever until the EMTs arrived. The chance of these young people being there at the same time who also knew CPR is amazing. These young adults, along with the entire group, were exceedingly kind and respectful. In a world of hatred and violence, it is wonderful to know that there are many good and decent young people. Doug and I are Christian believers, and we know everything in our lives is filtered through God's hands. We know this class, being here at that time, was indeed a gift from God. Doug passed away that day, and I returned home to Florida with our sons. I want you, your school, the families in the town of Wallingford, all to know that we are so appreciative of these young, wonderful people and thankful for their kindness and attentiveness and concern. Warmest regards, Mrs. Yale." I don't think I could say anything more than that, except thank you for being who you are, for being such amazing young adults who we could only hope that everyone watching this and all of your friends, no matter what age they are, truly see you as the heroes that you are. I don't have much more to say except thank you so very much, and your families must be so, so proud of you, because I know we are. So, thank you.
So again, on behalf of the Wallingford Board of Ed, wow, I don't even know what to, you're right, I don't know what to say. You know, you four of you are inspirational. I don't care how old you are. As a 59-year-old woman, I am completely inspired by you three and your teacher, all four of you. Your folks must be so proud, and thank you, all four of you, for representing Wallingford in this stellar fashion. The poise that you all possess is astounding. I'm just curious, are any of you considering professions in the medical world, or, yeah, you want to tell me?
Yeah, I've always wanted to be in the medical field since I was a kid, and I think now I definitely want to be a nurse. Like if I didn't know before, like I know now. So
wonderful. So thank you. That's perfect timing. How about gentlemen now? No. Yeah. That was your one. I totally get that. I'm good. I have no judgment zone here. But again, thank you so much for representing Wallingford in an amazing fashion, and we're very proud of you all. Thank you. Any questions from the public? This is a great opportunity. Okay, seeing none, can I get a motion to go into executive session for E-1, discussion regarding the contract of the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum, and E-2, discussion of acceptance of resignations?
So moved. Second.
I have a first and second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. We're in executive session. Okay, we are back. Can I get a motion to come out of executive session for E-1, discussion regarding the contract of the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum, and E-2, discussion of acceptance of resignation?
So moved. Second.
I have a first and second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. We're out of executive session. Okay, moving along, consent agenda item 7. Can I get a motion to accept consent agenda items 7.1 through 7.23?
So moved. Second.
I have a first and second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Item 8, items removed from the agenda, consent agenda, excuse me, we have none. Correspondence, Mr. Votto.
Yes, most of these are gifts that we'd like to announce that were given to the school system. Just bear with me, there's quite a few. From Stop and Shop in Hamden, James Denya, store manager. They donated toys, pencils, miscellaneous school supplies to Highland Elementary School, value $1,500. To acknowledgement from Cook Hills School, donor Patricia Novojaski, a monetary donation to help defray costs for some lunches, $500. A notice from Sharon Drozopoulos from the Lyman Hall Culinary Arts Program. The company Mad Tents donated tents, and that was valued at $500. Again from Sharon, from a Ms. Stalker, monetary donation toward the Culinary Arts Program of $500. Mr. Arcero reports that 3M donated money for school supplies. It's amazing, $3,455 from 3M. Mr. Snyder at DAG, again 3N. I was wondering for what, but it doesn't say. Oh yeah, just classroom supplies, $3,400. Again. From Wired and Media, I believe is the name of a company, donated 2 mobile stands for Touch It TVs, a total of $3,254. We thank them. Christina Sagnella reports from Steve Zion and the Toyota Corporation to help pay for the Tricia Cadden Crowley Library rename, valued at $5,000. And again, Christina Sagnella from Parker Farms, new furniture for the staff lounge. Again, compliments of Steve Zion from Toyota of Wallingford, valued at $500. Backpacks and school supplies for students from Nathan Daniel, Sinclair Risk Management, and for the 3-5 elementary schools, $1,500. Joe Corso from Lyman Hall reports 3M donated again $3,455 for school supplies. This one I looked at 3 times. Dave Mensher, Food Supplies, a Buffalo Chopper, I believe that's what it's called, from Todd Langston from Chick-fil-A, a total $500. And we have a note from Karen Vallot thanking us for our support with her with sympathy. Thank you. There is? Oh, that's right. You're correct. That's right. And from the Mike Bruder family, also thanking us for a sign of sympathy for, I believe, the passing of his father-in-law. And that's it, folks. Thank you.
You know, it never ceases to amaze me, the generosity of our community. And I just want to take a second to say thank you to those corporations and individuals. And to me, that's such a reinforcement of the amazing work that you folks sitting here do every single day, and your staffs, and your building, all your schools, and the staffs that represent those schools, that people want to contribute that kind of money and feel that it's a good expenditure of their money to donate to our schools. So that's really, to me, a direct reflection of the work that all of you folks do and your respective teams. So thank you so much for that. Okay, item 10 are committee reports, starting with ACES. Mrs. Labatt.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. The ACES Governing Board met on November 9th, 2017. The minutes of the October 12th, 2017 meeting were approved. The Executive Director reported on the convocation that took place at Thames on November 7th, 2017. He indicated that the ACES mission and vision statements are being reviewed and a draft will be presented to the Governing Board. The design plan team meeting is postponed to December 8, 2017. This meeting will address plans for the bold steps with an 18-month rollout in the next iteration. The ACES Leader Hill update included information regarding revisions that were made in conjunction with the state to decrease the overall square footage from the original design of 153,000 square feet at a cost of $82,124,595 to the approved design with a square footage of 137,164 square feet with a budgeted cost of $75,525,652. The design change included the redesigning of the cafeteria layout and modifying the gymnasium and workroom area. Bid openings for electrical and plumbing services at Leader Hill will be opened the week of November 13th, 2017. Under old business, the Governing Board approved the bond resolution for Leader Hill, appropriating $61.43 million, $46 million of which is estimated to be paid from state grants. The previous version of the bond resolution, which was in the amount of $65 million, was the subject of much discussion and concern at the previous Governing Board meeting. The approved bond resolution removed some language which was of concern to ACES Governing Board members and their respective boards of education regarding liability. Under new business, the Governing Board approved the proposed tuition rates and fees for 2018-2019. Support service rates will not increase, and data and network services as well as technology technician services will decrease. Also approved were the wages, 2% increase with no step advancement, health plan and insurance premiums for non-bargaining employees effective July 1st, 2018. The Governing Board authorized the hiring of staff and/or transfers, position changes, approved the retirements, and granted the leaves of absence as detailed on the Human Resources Report. The Governing Board approved the filing of the fiscal report, subject to audit, and approved the Early Head Start monthly report. Mr. William Rice, Assistant Executive Director, indicated in his curriculum and instruction update that ACES has enrolled many more students with significant needs, and therefore an increase in aides to support these students has been required. There are 93 Wallingford students attending ACES programs.
Thank you. Any questions about that report? Okay. Thank you so much, Karen. Item 10.2, Wintergreen Magnet School Steering Committee. Ms. Latour?
I went to.
Oh, you are. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No. I know she didn't go. That's.
Oh, okay. Go for it, Mr.
I think
Votto.
that was the night of the Teacher of the Year.
We were all there, yeah.
I went to this meeting, very uneventful. They just gave a list of things. I'm not prepared tonight exactly because they were, I was waiting for two pieces of information from the principal to send me via email. I just got them this week. So I was going to include that in my report. So I'll wait to do that, and either I'll send it to you all via email or I can report on it next month. It's up to you. But basically it was just a list of activities they've been doing since the beginning of the year. literacy coach got up and talked about what she does as a literacy coach, and I believe a social studies teacher. Actually, he was the person who ran against Mr. Lang, the person who won the mayoral election in Hamden, and how he explained that to his students and used it as a teaching moment. That was about it, basically. But I wanted to share some of the information. I think it was enrollment numbers and some of the program that they were trying to institute.
Okay. Any questions? Very good, thank you. Item 10.3, School to Career Representative Business Think Tank. I don't know, Mr. Shea or Dr. Menzo, what?
I have a related item, but Tom, did you have any notes on the meeting?
Unfortunately, I wasn't there. I know that the agenda was, they discussed how we're restructuring the clusters, the career clusters and pathways.
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot of work in that area. So Rob shared that, and then he's going to bring back that to the group. He also shared that we're investigating a credentialing software that would allow our students to take take assessments to be able to be credentialed in different areas based on our career clusters. So he was just asking feedback of the businesses in attendance, whether or not it would be something value added, and the feedback was positive, that they felt it would be value added. So we're in the process of working with that company to determine whether or not that's something we'll add to our strategic plan budget or our sustained budget as we move forward. We are in the process of, we're finalizing our plans to go to Trumpf in Farmington. It's a German company where we're taking a group of business leaders, myself, Tim Ryan from the EDC, from the Economic Development, and then also Joe Mara will be in attendance to go and learn more about their apprenticeship programs that they have for students upon graduation from high school, and investigating whether or not there's opportunities to do ones while they're in high school. So this was through the German Chamber of Commerce. So we've been working with them, and we're very excited to have this trip up and ready to go. So we'll be doing that in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I missed the meeting as well, but I saw an article that folks might find of interest in the last week regarding, one of the topics we talk about at these hubcap meetings is the advanced manufacturing technology. And I saw finally an optimistic one in Kiplinger's letter last week that said, here's a switch for U.S. manufacturing. Production is returning to American shops. What's driving the new reshoring trend? Advanced manufacturing technologies that make it more cost-effective and more convenient to operate stateside rather than far-flung places overseas. Consumers increasingly price customization and sorts of things like that. They said the jobs that do come back will pay more as well. The days of unskilled workers manning assembling lines are coming to a close. Employers need people with training, with certifications in robotics, computer-controlled machines, 3D printing, and etc. Finding skilled labor will be tough. Community colleges and apprenticeships don't train enough workers, ensuring strong pay gains for those with in-demand skills. So I think what we're hoping is to at least create the exposure in the class that we have, and then look from there somehow to be able to start to get the community colleges involved, or certification sorts of programs we can do probably outside of the school system, but locally, to be able to provide the specific skills to provide people opportunities. But we're seeing a lot of this at Oberg. I'll just give you 4 quick examples of this sort of stuff that we're working on. One is we make the metal for a pacemaker. If anybody's seen a pacemaker, it's about this big. The new one we're working on is, and it's actually now in the market, is the size of a vitamin. Imagine that, so you don't have to cut the chest open anymore. They go in through the arteries. Another one that we're involved in is an insulin delivery system, whereas rather than people having to inject themselves each day, check themselves, instead it's a Band-Aid. And the needles are so small that the insulin just absorbs through the skin, through the tiny needles like a Velcro. Two others. One is an anti-concussion device that we're working with Bauer on when the head goes back to stop the concussion effect. And the last one is this Elon Musk, this fellow that's Tesla and trying to put somebody on Mars, and the solar panels and the power packs. And we're involved in all 4 of those projects with him. So I think, it's not just us. We're doing a lot of this stuff, but I think most of the other companies in this area that, again, are still in business around here, involved in that sort of advanced manufacturing technology. So fortunately, and I'm seeing that. I'm seeing more stuff coming back. I'm saying, where's this growth coming from? It's beyond what the economy is generating in growth. And I think it's this sort of thing. It is stuff coming back. Of course, it's the higher end stuff. It's the stuff that requires the skills. Kids, again, if the kids don't have the basics of reading and math down, there's no way they're going to be able to do these jobs. But if they do, I think you're going to see programs and companies doing them themselves as well to be able to provide the opportunities, because they're going to need the people between this, what they're talking about here, and of course now the baby boomers are retiring. You're seeing, you know, we're seeing much higher retirement rates than we did in the past. So.
A couple of just quick follow-ups to that. We did recently also meet with the head of the Advanced Manufacturing Program at Housatonic Community College, and also the head of the New Haven Manufacturers Association, of which Mr. Shea and Ulbrich was honored this past year in their Hall of Fame, correct? And so we met with them, and we're going to be sharing the clusters that we're creating in the pathways with those two groups to have them give us feedback to see what courses might be able to be used as dual enrollment options for our students. So we're looking to expand that opportunity, which I think will be beneficial as we move forward for our students, to kind of give them that exposure. And it's great to have those partnerships that we're developing with these other universities. Also, myself and Dr. Bignigney from Meriden were on a call with the State Department. We requested to have a conversation regarding career technical education and some of the hoops that we have to now jump through. So we were asked as two superintendents to share with the state some of the hoops and which ones do they think that they could help us with. So no good deed goes unpunished, so to speak, because now we've been invited to a meeting to share further with a larger group, which is fine. So I know I'll be attending. I think Mr. Benigni or Dr. Benigni is sending somebody, but I'll be attending with somebody from Meriden to share some of those concerns, because there are some inherent challenges with the legislative changes that occurred, and they're really inhibiting our staff being able to teach the courses they need to teach because of the changes at the community college level. So we want to talk about that, plus the AccuPlacer test and a variety of other things, but I'll provide an update with that meetings next Friday.
Perfect, thank you. Any comments or questions from the board? Very good, thanks. 10.4 PTAC update, Dr. Menzo?
We did not have a meeting.
No problem. 10.5 Plan of Conservation Development, Mr. Reynolds?
Yes, we will be meeting this week, so I hope to give
us an update in
December. Yep.
Perfect. 10.6 Food Service Strategic Plan Committee, Mr. Mencher?
Yes, we met as a team for the second time a couple weeks ago. I thought it was a very productive meeting. We've added a few members. We lost a member. We're on our way with a lot of goals and strategic ideas with due dates and indicators that I'll be following. The survey for food services for the students and parents is just about complete. Actually, it is complete, and now I have to roll it out to the parents via an e-blast and with our high school students. And we've added, once again, we've added another registered dietitian, which is very helpful, and we look forward to the next meeting.
Perfect. Any questions? Karen, did you want to add anything, or you're good? Okay, just want to make sure. Great, thanks, Dave. I'm going to cluster 10.7 and 10.8 for Mr. Deptula, stage lighting and renovation updates, as well as the 4 school window replacement projects.
Comptroller Jim Bowes has put us on the town council agenda for 12/12 on Tuesday. That's for bonding approval. We'll go through that process. I think they need a 30-day public question and answer period, and then they'll move on from there. But
perfect, thanks. Yeah, but that's really for this, that's for the window replacement?
Jobs.
Oh, they are for both jobs, okay. Thanks for clarifying. Okay, item 11, old business. I do not believe we have any. Item 12, instructional committee. Mr. Shea,
Thanks,
you're up.
Roxanne.
Yeah.
Item 12.1, mastery-based learning update.
So the building committees have been moving along as evidenced by the science K-12 graduation standards and indicators going to the board last month, as did the world language revised standards and indicators. District leadership team met for the first time last month because our October meeting was canceled due to the closure of school that day. We had the opportunity to discuss as a team the timeline for this project and made some refinements. There weren't any major changes. I will be bringing that to the instructional committee next week so that all of you have an opportunity to see the different refinements that were made and weigh in on your thoughts and reflections as well.
Very good. Any questions, folks? Thank you. Item 12.2 is a possible approval action regarding the contract for the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum, and there's no action tonight on this item. Item 12.3 is approval of acceptance of resignations, and we have two. I make a motion that the Board of Education accept with regret the resignation of Jason Zedegren effective December 31st, 2017.
A second.
Thanks. Jason Zedegren has been a physical education teacher since August 2002. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Thanks. And the second item is I make a motion that the Board of Education accept with regret the resignation of Amanda Gillis effective November 9th, 2017.
Second.
Thank you. Amanda has been a math interventionist since August 2013. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? And that motion carries. And I'm all done. Thanks.
Perfect, thank you. Item 13 is operations, and I'm going to defer to Mr. Barone on that to give us, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Mr. Broder, okay. Dominic, you're up.
Hi, okay, we met, can you hear me? Okay, we met on a couple weeks ago and had the meeting. We had initially, there was a presentation related to the middle school block schedules, and then we went into the financial reports. And I'm just going to highlight the financial reports. The report was very similar. We're expecting some surpluses in the contingency and the benefits account, and we're expecting a large deficit on the tuitions. And also, one of the newer items was we're projecting a deficit on the unemployment of about $44,000. And then after that, we talked about, we went into the lunch, and I'm just trying to bring up the spreadsheet on that to give you a quick update on the lunch program. And we presented the meal counts and the revenues and expenditures. The October meal counts were down about 4,000 meals, which is about a 9.6% variance, which the prior month, the variance was about a negative 11.53, so we're trending in the right direction. We're still below where we want to be, but at least we're moving in the right direction. Dave, did you want to add anything on your, you presented your marketing plan? Did you want to just touch base on that real quick?
We're just, I'm at full blast with the marketing plan that I presented to you guys. It's hanging on my wall, and I'm crossing out and adding completions every week, so I'm very visible in the district and also in the classroom with culinary nutrition and also in the high school, so we're plugging away.
Is there anything else?
Nope, thanks, Dominic.
Okay, great, thank you. Thanks, Dominic. Item 14, new business. I do not believe we have any. Item 15, administration report. You're up, Dr. Menza.
All right, I have several additional donations. These come under the $500,000 wish.
Really?
All right, anybody out there who has their first $500,000 donation they'd like to make, send it on down. We'd be happy. We'll sponsor. We'll have this whole broadcast sponsored in your name.
Right?
Forever. But no, these are under $500, so I apologize. Mary Palaveri to Parker Farms, $100 donation for computer and school supplies. New coats for students through Coats for Kids from the Knights of Columbus. Trinity Council number 5467, valued at $324. Lyman Hall received, the Culinary Arts Program received $65 donation from Augur Farms. Blue Hills Orchard for $80, and this was all in food to be then used in the program. Connecticut Food Market, $50. Gigantes 2, $50. Tee It Up provided t-shirts, a value of $400 to the program. The Culinary Arts Program also received donations from Mr. Baker, $100. Mr. Walls, $50. Thurston Foods, $60. And Archie Moore's, $30. So we appreciate and thank all of those groups for their donations and their continued support of our programming. This Wednesday night at 6 p.m. at Lyman Hall will be the second annual Parent Choice Awards. We hope that all board members that can attend will attend. We have over 90 teachers and staff, I shouldn't say teachers, only staff, being recognized by parents. At the end of last year, parents were able to nominate people in the district who have impacted their children's lives in a positive way. We were fortunate enough to be able to go out and deliver the message directly to the teachers and the staff throughout the district. So now this Wednesday night we'll be having a ceremony at which time they'll be able to read what was written about them. We're also going to follow it with a small ice cream social that we will be scooping the ice cream at. So we're looking forward to that opportunity again. We're getting good. It's always good to have exit plans. Watch out, sweet Claudes. So moving right along, we also, the budget forum was 2 weeks ago on a Thursday evening. We met on the 16th of November. We met with some parents and community members to just discuss some of the things that were going on with our budget. I want to thank my administrative team for all being there to support us and answer questions impeccably well, so thank you very much for your support. The first budget meeting of the new year, which will be for the budget for 18-19 school year, will be on January 8th. I will be sending out an email to all families and staff over the next couple of weeks with all the budget dates, letting them know so they can mark their calendars if they're interested in attending.
Sal, can I interrupt you for a second? Where are we holding our budget meetings in January and February? Are they?
We're going to be doing them at 100 South Turnpike Road.
Perfect. Thank you.
The other thing I just want to share some exciting news. As some of you may have read, Sheehan Titans football will be in the playoffs tomorrow, state playoffs, first time in 22 years. So I will be here at 6:30 for a town council meeting. However, I'll be leaving the town council meeting quickly to try to get to the game, at least for the second half. So if town councilors are watching this, please make the meeting go quickly or move our agenda item up. Tomorrow night we will be here. Actually, I'll be here part of a team of people talking about the Eat, Play, Unplug initiative. That is a public school town-wide initiative to really have people really focus on their health and wellness. So eating in a positive, healthy manner, getting exercise, and kind of detaching every so often from the technology to free your mind and get outside and enjoy life. So we've been continuing that message. Our first portion of this is the Choose Kindness message, which I've been sharing with the staff and families throughout the district, really trying to get that positive attitude. I also, in my Monday message that went out this morning, I shared the video that Dag Hammarskjöld Middle School students in the Kindness Club created as a promo or a PSA that is running before the movie Wonder at Holiday Cinemas. So it's our students talking about what it means to be kind and what it means to have truly accept other people's differences. And it's a great little video, and we're very fortunate that, again, Holiday Cinemas, the collaborative partners that they are showing it before all of the showings or the viewings of that movie in Wallingford. I also just want to mention that this weekend we have the Magical Dinner at Sheehan on Saturday and Sunday. Next Saturday, if you did not get the Menzo Crepe at Wallingford, Celebrate Wallingford, you have a second chance. Because next Saturday, December 9th, we will be having the pop-up bakery cafe at Hubcap Wallingford. I will be working with Julia Esposito and the students. Jules is the total person in charge of everything, so I will be working for Julia Esposito on Saturday. I feel like I already do. With
what are the hours of that, Sal?
I believe we're open from 9 to 2.
9 to 2.
They'll be serving pastries, crepes, as well as paninis. There is no pre-ordering. You could come in, have some food, enjoy, and we really, really are so proud of our students. And I hope you all saw the video I sent out of Jules on Channel 8 recently, when she was doing her cooking segment. She is the next, cooking star on the Food Network if she wants to be. A couple other quick things. On the 7th of December, we're going to have a high school kind of Shark Tank activity for some students that are involved in a project for DECA. That'll be at Hubcap in the evening. We're looking to have some community partners, some business people come and be mentors. So we're pulling people in for that. And lastly, amongst the many concerts that are happening at this time of year and the start of the winter sports season, don't forget that, our students were asked through our partnership and collaboration with Oakdale, we have students that are going to participate in the concert with Kenny Rogers on Friday, December 16th, 15th. They will be performing with Kenny Rogers on stage. Wow. So we're really excited about that. Again, it's just a sign of our tremendous partners that we have in the community of Wallingford, looking to engage not only in helping our district financially, but also helping our students get once-in-a-lifetime experiences. So I'm looking forward to all these events, and I would encourage people to check the website for the calendars, because there's a tremendous amount. If you want to get into the holiday spirit, you know where to go, because Wallingford Public Schools has an event pretty much almost every night of the week that you can get involved in the holiday spirit somewhere, someplace in this district. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Manzo. So I'll wrap it up with announcements for our meeting dates for December. Can't believe we're talking about December. So December 4th, and December 4th is our instruction committee. December 11th is our operations committee. Both start at 6:30, and both are held at 100 South Turnpike Road in the Board of Ed conference room. And our televised Board of Ed meeting is, we also have December 11th. Let me take a backtrack. I apologize. Immediately following our operations, a special instruction committee. So that'll follow immediately after operations. And then December 18th is our televised Board of Ed meeting here at the Robert F. Parisi Town Council Chambers, starting at 6:30. And with that, this meeting's adjourned. Have a good evening, everybody.